Happy to be here.
My first question for you is, what has been the biggest life struggle that you have had to overcome in your career?
Well, I guess the easy answer would be wrestling with cerebral palsy. You know, like before wrestling, and of course during wrestling, I think a lot of people underestimated me not only because of my size, but because of my disability. But luckily, I had a good support system in life, good friends, and then in wrestling, people that were like-minded. And because of that, it sort of helped me realize that despite my limitations, I could make it work, I could make the best of it, and I could overcome.
Basically, know your limitations.
Exactly. And you know what? When I was younger, I used to think having sleeping was a curse, and now I realize that's a blessing. I get to tell my story, I get to help other people.
I actually pretty much have more about that later on.
Okay, all right. So no spoilers. So all right, that's it. That's my ramble.
My second question is, I can never wrestle because of my brain conditions, but I still want to be able to be in the wrestling world when I grow up. What advice can you give to kids like me with a disability that you wish you knew when you started in wrestling with your special ability?
Wait a minute, what's your issue? I don't know.
I have hearing malformation. Basically, my brain, instead of growing this way, it grows into my spine.
Okay.
So I'm the 1 million miracle child, the doctors say, because I should have been paralyzed or even dead.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow, but you're here, you're doing it. You have a bit of charisma. I can feel it, I can sense it, and that is something that is needed for professional wrestling. So here's my advice for someone with a disability like yourself who wants to be in wrestling but can't wrestle. I'd like to think that I was so passionate about wrestling that even if I wasn't good at wrestling, which I've created the illusion I'm good at wrestling. I'm not good at
Illusion, you are good at
No. Don't you just say that because I did your show. Okay?
No.
All right. But I'll take the compliment. That's fine. So if I couldn't have done wrestling, I still think that my passion and my love for it would have guided me to do something like writing storylines or working behind the scenes. And so, like, I guess my advice would be, if you really love this, you won't let the be-all, end-all be between the ropes, because you can still contribute artistically. And I think that's what wrestling is, it's art, right? So if you love this, you can still create a work of art, but you still got to get that wrestling education, find guys that have been in the business that can smarten you up to things, and I think you can just have a very fruitful career in the business, even if you don't go into the squared circle.
Okay, but like I was saying earlier, that I did have more on your blessing.
Yes.
When I said wrestling with your special ability, because my mom calls them abilities because they're not disabilities,
Yes.
they're abilities.
I agree.
They're special abilities.
I agree. And you know what? Like, for a long time, and I still do occasionally, I would wear, the handicap symbol on my butt cheeks, right? And because sometimes, particularly my disability isn't like the most physical, you can notice in my hand and fingers sometimes, but if you just see me from a distance, you might not notice right away. But the idea with wearing the handicap symbol like yours, I think people look at it as a sign of weakness. They think like, oh, you just get the part closest to the grocery store or whatever. But for me, I wanted to take the handicap symbol and change the perspective of it. I wanted people to look at it and go, that's not a sign of weakness, that's a sign of strength. We can overcome everything. So it's like, I agree. We definitely have special abilities, and we got to use those to our advantage.
And fun fact about you is, you're known as a toy collector. Wait, toy collector? It's action figure collector. What is your most unique or rare or favorite action figure that you own?
Cool. Well, I do own, with the exception of the mail-away Hulk Hogan figure from Hasbro, I have every single Hasbro WWF figure, including the rare ones, obviously. But I almost did buy the Hulk Hogan one recently, but I had to think better of it. I had to think about others because it's Christmas time.
Did you get the superhero one?
Well, I have them all. But I wanted this Hulk Hogan one, but it's like $1,000, over $1,000.
Which one?
Hulk Hogan mail-away WWF Hasbro figure from 1993, specifically his WrestleMania 9 gear. I'm a nerd about this, okay? But I didn't do it. I might do it at some point, but now my new thing is I've collected all the, do you like Ninja Turtles?
Yes, I collected all. I have a couple of the WWE Ninja Turtles.
I have those, but I just recently started collecting the Ninja Turtle Meet the Mayhem figures because I loved it. I think it's the best movie since the original in 1990. And I wasn't a big WWE Elite guy or Ultimate guy, but now I've been collecting some of those. And my last part of my rambling, I just recently purchased a bunch of AEW figures from Black Friday because I've wrestled a lot of those guys, so I only bought my friends so I could put them in my office because I think it's a really cool thing that so many guys that I've worked with that I can text, that I can call, I can have them in my office and say like, hey, they turned my friend into an action figure. So it's very humbling, you know what I mean? Like I live a very surreal life.
Like I know a lot of wrestlers and I've known so many wrestlers and when they get turned into figures, I'm like, Dad, right now, three order them, let's go. You want to sell out?
Yep.
So, thank you so much for coming to my show. It means the world to me.
It means the world to me that you would think of me.
Of course. Thank you. Bye, guys.